Welcome back guys, this is Shrikant. 2 years ago I uploaded video which was related with the SSRS. That is how to create your first SSRS report. You people like it and I received very positive feedback for that video. And most of my subscriber requested me to upload few more video which deals with the SSRS. Those who are not aware of SSRS, just want to give some brief idea related with the SSRS. SSRS stands for SQL Server Reporting Services. These are having a sets of services, or it's a tool which is used for designing the reports. And SSRI is a part of MSBI solution or MSBI package. What is MSBI then? MSBI stands for Microsoft Business Intelligence, which has three main components. The first part is SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services, then SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services. Third one is SSAS, SQL Server Analysis Services. These are the three integral part of the MSBI package. So every tool has a different application, different importance. I just want to tell you that if you are trying for a job and if you are having the knowledge of SSRS with SQL Server, or if you are having knowledge of SSIS plus SQL Server, which will be added advantage. Or simply if you have knowledge of simply one tool, I can say SSRS with SQL Server, then you have the most open opportunity in the market. If you search for the opening for the BI developer, the most of the companies request that you should have the knowledge of SSRS with SQL Server, that you should be able to write a query, you should be able to write a performance queries, obviously, then you should be able to design the report with any kind of the reporting tool. We have a different BI tools. So just start with a simple solution, and I can say SSRS is very simple, but its application, its importance is very high. If we are trying for a job in a .NET, and if you say I have the knowledge of SQL Server along with I have knowledge of reporting tool SSRS, then you people will get priority, you people will get added advantage of that. So I suggest, and I am going to share a few video related with the SSRS, so you people will get the idea related with SSRS and how you can design the report, right? So if you will watch my last video which was uploaded 2 years ago, in that one you will see I have shown you how to open the SQL Server data tool, then I have shown you how to connect SQL Server with the data tool application bits, then how to access the SQL Server from the bit solution, then how to write the queries, and after writing the query how to assign that queries to the data source, then data set. Once those are assigned to the data set, then how we can use it in a report, how we can design the good report. Once we design, then how we can preview that how it is looking like, and then how we can download it, right? I have shown you all those things, but you people are not aware of the reporting server configuration, you people are not aware of the deployments, you people are not aware of the accessing or the using that report in a .NET solution, or how we can use the final product of SSRS in your application, right? I mean to say, you can how you can use it in a C sharp or ASP.NET for viewing the purpose. So basically, I'm trying to tell you that how you can integrate SSRS with the .NET, right? So for that, you need a server, deployment server. I'm going to share all those things with you guys one by one. First, I will show you how to configure the reporting server, where we need to go and where we can see the configuration box. Once we have configured it, how we can access it into our browser. Accessing means what? Accessing means how do we see the data sources, data sets, and all those stuffs. The first time when we do setup, that time we won't see anything in the reporting server. But when we start doing a deployment over the server from the bit solution, right, the SSR, the report or the RDL which we have designed in the bit solution, that RDL would be deployed over the server, so that a person who needs it, he can access it from the server itself, because you can't give them the local RDL every time. They need to access from a centralized position. So once you do a change, that change would be applicable for the entire organization, or all the references where that report is being used, all those things, right? So I'm going to share all the basic concept with related with the SSRS. Along with that, we will start to learn more in detail the report, that how we'll do the drill down, how do we access the sub reports, then how different types of data type in SSRS, and all this part we are going to share and we are going to learn it. And I'm expecting you people will definitely get an idea related with the reporting solution, so that you people will get benefit of practical example of the SSRS, so you can design the report based on your needs, and then you can deploy it and then you can access for your commercial purpose. So we'll start and we'll try to understand each and everything in detail. Great. So for understanding that, we need to start with the basic stuff. So basic, the first thing is SSRS server or services installation. So how does it get installed first of all, or how to do that? For that, we need to go to the search box. Here we need to type installation. So you will here see SQL Server Installation Center. You need to click on open. The moment we'll click on open, the installation pop-up will come, and here if you'll observe it carefully, here we are seeing the option like planning, installation, maintenance, tools, resources, advanced options. Okay, so basically this is the UI which was used by us when we were trying to install the SQL Server, right? So basically, when we install the SQL Server, at that time itself we need to install the SSRS, SSAS, SSIS, that is MSBI package itself. Okay, so we need to go to the installation section and we need to select the standalone or existing installation, or if you have to modify, right, click on OK. Then you will see it will ask you the services like SSRS, SSAS and SSIS services. It will ask you, do you want to install that? You need to check all the options and you need to click on a go and you need to install it. Installation will done automatically. You don't need to worry about that. Just need to click on proper next and OK button. Great. For example, you have already installed the SQL Server and at the time of installation you forgot or it was not needed to have the installed the SSRS or SSAS or any MSBI services. So for that thing also, you need to again come back to the SQL Server Installation Center. You need to go to the installation. Then you need to click on again existing installation, and you need to properly check the SSRS, SSAS, and SSIS options. So the time you will select all these options and click on next, the installation will be done automatically. And the installation will be done automatically means what? Installation will be done automatically and it will be successful means that the SQL Server will get automatically installed, SSRS servers will get automatically installed, SSIS server will get automatically installed, and same would be for SSES. All these three servers will get automatically installed. We'll talk about that one by one, but right now we are focusing on SSRS. So I'm going to tell you only related with the SSRS server with this video. Okay, so SSRS server will get installed when we do a installation through the SQL Server Installation Center box. Okay, now the server has been installed on our machine. Now next part is the setup. So we need to configure the reporting server. For that, what we need to do, that we need to go again to the search box and there we need to type reporting services configuration manager. Click on open. Okay, now we have click on open, and this pop-up has been open. Okay, now here you will see there are two text boxes, right? The one which is showing the name for the server, another one is the instance one. Instance name we need to select at the time of installation, which will be done automatically at the time of installation itself, right? Okay, so my server name is Shrikant. It's a reporting server. We say server. Great, you can see here. It will automatically pick up the server name, don't worry about that. Or if you forget, just click on a find, it will automatically pick up the server name. Then just you need to click on a connect, so you will get connected to the reporting server. Okay, sometimes the services would not get started automatically, so you need to click on a start. But right now you can see the current status for the reporting service status is started. It means the services are already started, right? Great. Now the next thing, this is just a small summary section. Now you can read it carefully. The SQL Server installation for this section is SQL Server instance name is MS SQL Server is the instance name, and the IT ID for this instance is this one. Okay, and you will see the versions and the editions. Okay, next the most important thing is the reporting server database name. Why it is needed? First of all, as we were going to deploy the reports or the RDL over the server, so on the server the RDL will get deployed, right? So that RDL will get stored somewhere, and that somewhere or that position or that database is a reporting server database. So here we need to specify the name for the database where the RDLs will get installed. Okay, now I am going to show you how to set up the reporting server database. You need to go to the database section. Now here you need to go to the change database. Now I'm creating a new connection. Just create a new report, server database. I'm clicking on next. Here it will ask you the database server where you want to install the SQL Server database engine, but you need to specify the SQL Server database engine. So my SQL Server database engine server name is Shrikant. I am using the authentication type as current user or integrated. That's a Windows authentication. Click on a test connection. If everything is okay, I mean to say, let's say I'm specifying is Shrikant, yes, and again clicking on a test connection, it will show me an error because that server is not installed on my machine. So definitely it should give me an error, right? It's just verifying the connection with the server, but I think it's not getting, so it's again thinking that there should be some issue. So again it is trying to connect, but finally it got an error that network related or the instance specific error because the server itself is not present. It's a wrong name, right? Now my server name is Shrikant, so I'm again trying to click on a test connection and clicking on OK. I can see it's a success. Next thing I need to do that I need to click on a next. Now here you will see two important things. The first important thing is the database name, and next is TIM database name. So I'm going to change the database name for my reporting DB. I'm making it as the new 5 reporting server new. If I change the name for the database name, reporting database name, the TIM database name itself getting changed. So I just need to pass one database name, that's a reporting database name. TIM database would automatically get created, which will be used for storing the processing the temporary data on the server. So two database would get automatically created when we do initial setup for the reporting server. My database name for the setup is reporting server underscore new. Then click on a next. Then pass some authentication and click on a next. Now this is an installation section. Everything will be taken care automatically. You don't need to worry about that all the permissions and then script and everything verification would be done automatically. Now you can see here we are just assigning the report database to the configuration manager. So all the reports, all the data sources, all the logs which are related with the reporting server would get deployed or would get stored on this database itself. Okay, now if you read these steps, verifying the database SKU is fine, generating database script, everything is fine, running database script done, generating write script done, applying connection write done, setting DSN done. Okay, now everything is done, everything is success. Click on finish. Fine. Then database has been done, setup done. Okay, next thing is we need to go to the report manager URL. Now here you can see report manager URL is report1. You can change the link, it's a reports, right? Here this is the, then you need to click on apply because you are going to change the name for the reporting manager. So this is a reporting manager. There are two things now we need to understand. The first thing is reporting manager and another is reporting server URL. Reporting manager URL is for accessing the report. Reporting server URL is for deploying or the parent link. Great. What we need to do here now, we need to click on this link. The moment we'll click on a link, it will move to the browser and it will try to open the link. But there are a few important things we need to remember, that we need to open the browser with the administrative permission. So just go to the Internet Explorer or any browser, do a right click on that like this, then do right click on this, then click on run as an administrator. Okay, now we are going to open the browser with the administrative permission. Okay, the old one, the link which is opening, we can see here that this link is opening with the permission, but we haven't opened this browser with the administrative right. We have opened the browser with the administrative right is Internet Explorer. Great. Again come back here, copy, we already copied this, copied the link, paste the link and click on go. Now we'll wait and watch. If everything is okay, and there is no issue, then we'll see the reporting manager UI, where we'll see the data source location, where we'll see the data sets for deployment, we'll see the subscription box, we will see the report section, report folder, basically, right? All these things we will be seeing there. It is getting open, just wait. It is getting connected to the reporting server page. Let's wait. The first time it will take time because it needs to do some configuration and other stuff, but next time onward it get open fast. Let's wait. Okay, meanwhile we can go back and we can see the other options. So this is reporting manager, where we can access the reports, and in the report service URL you can see this is the reporting server URL. Report server URL. Only this thing is important. If you guys are feeling that this is quite difficult, then don't worry about that, just ignore it. Just try to understand that we need to understand this thing. Okay, come go back and let's check out that link. Now this link has been opened and it has added the page and folder section. Now this is called as the reporting server UI manager link. Basically this is the manager link. So manager is just for using the managing the different options, like let's say if you have to create some folders, you can create the folders with a new folder. If you want to create data sources, then you need to click on a new data sources section. Then if you want to upload any new RDL, you can upload from here, or if you want to modify the reports, you can modify from here itself. Okay, then there are a few options like the subscription, my subscriptions, where subscriptions mean automatically sending emails and other stuffs. You can do a setting here. Then site setting, you have a different control or related with the security. How does you want to open the report builder on a custom URL if you want, or if you want to specify the parameter list, you can specify here, or you can filter it out. So basically this is called the reporting manager URL. Now let's go back and let's pick up the reporting server URL. This is my reporting server URL, report server 1. So come back here, just type report server 1, click on okay. Now we have not deployed anything, we have not deployed data source, we have not deployed any RDL, so it's showing us blank. The moment we'll start working on the SSRS solution or the deployment, we'll see the reports and this section will go to automatically filled. Okay, now let's go back to the SQL Server database engine. Let's try to connect once again. This is my database engine and the server name is Shrikant, which we use for the connection. Just click on a connect. Now we'll get connected to the Shrikant. Now we were going to search for our reporting server DB. Now do you remember the server name which we have just created? We need to come here, then we need to refresh a database because we have just now created that DB. Refresh it. Okay, done. Now once it get refresh, we'll go down and we'll check for the new DB, the report server new and report server new underscore temp DB. These are the two databases which we have just asked to create and which are just created. Now if you'll come here and if you'll move to the table section, you will see these are tables which are automatically created. As we haven't deployed anything or we haven't created anything, these are the predefined system tables which are automatically created, and these are the default one. We haven't run anything, so these are the default tables. Let's go to the TempDB also and let's see the tables. Here also same tables or few tables are there. Okay, so just try to recap and just try to understand. We need to first of all do installation for the reporting server. Once the server has been installed, we need to configure that reporting server. Once the server has been configured, then we can start working with the bit solution or the reporting server solution. In the reporting server solution, we'll create a new project. I will show you how to create the data sources and then RDL, and from that server I will show you how to deploy the RDL or data sources from the bit solution and how we can see it in the reporting server manager. Okay, why do we need to install the RDL or anything on the report server? First of all, that's a good question. We need to deploy it, or we need to do this activity just to have the centralized server location or centralized file, so that we can access that file in our .NET application or in our application directly for accessing purpose, right? It just for that activity. Because let's say we have a 10 developer and they have 10 different projects and they want to use the same RDL. We can't deliver them every time a single RDL. They need to work on a single reporting file, because if you do a change for a single file, it will get deployed or it will be reflected for entire developer or for entire project, right? So we need to have a centralized location. There we'll have all the files and all the data there itself. If you change anything, it will get changed for everyone. Okay, this is related with the configuration. Hope you guys understood. And if you guys still have any doubt, don't forget to message me or the comment section. I will definitely reach out the comments and I will reply for that. So far we covered the installation part for SSRS server, that's a SQL Server reporting server, along with its services. Then we talk about report server configuration, that once the server has been installed, which thing we need to configure for configuring the reporting services, right? We talk about the reporting database, then TeamDB, right? Also I discuss with you related with the reporting service manager, then reporting service URL. These two things we discuss, right? Just to recap, reporting service manager is a tool which is used for managing the reports, data sets, folders, and security thing. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to create your first SSRS project, then how to create your first SSRS report, that's RDL, then how to deploy that RDL on the server, then how to deploy the dataset on the server. All these things we are going to cover, and this will be the end for this video. Okay, design and deploy the report. So for that, what do we need to do? We need to go to our search box. You need to type SQL Server Data Tool, or if it is 2017, then you need to type SSDT, SQL Server Data Tool, and you need to click on open. The application will get open automatically. Okay, you will see the UI like this. So you need to go to the file, then new, then project, okay. Just remember, so far we only installed the SQL Server Business Intelligence tool, that's a SQL Server Data Tool. Once you have installed it, you can see this option: analysis services, reporting services, then integration services in the project section. So new Visual Studio will be installed and you need to access it. So now we are moving to the reporting services. In the reporting services, you will see two kind of project. The first project is the report server project wizard, another is report server project. So these are only two projects which we need to add into our solution for creating, generating the data sources and designing the RDL and all other stuff, right? So why do we need to have this two? Okay, the first of all, the reporting server project wizard is a kind of a project which will ask us all the configuration in the first place. It will ask us the data source, it will ask us to how do you want to see the data on the report, and it will generate the RDLs automatically, it will generate the data source automatically, and all those things will be done automatically. This is for understanding purpose, and if your application or if your report is very simple, then you should go with the report server project wizard. But if you go from both the project, you can edit, you can add or anything after the creation, but this is just for the default purpose. Reporting server project wizard is very helpful or very easy for the beginner who are just trying to learn the reporting service projects, SSRS. And report server project is a kind of a project which won't give you anything, it will give you the blank project. There it doesn't have the RDL, there it doesn't have the data sources, there it won't ask you the query and the other detail. Okay, so first of all we'll move with the report server project wizard. We'll also go with this second project in the next video, but for time being just focus on the report server project wizard. So if we want to create the SSRS project, we need to go with these two project, either one or second. So I'm going
with the first option, the report server project wizard. Okay, here if you'll come down and if you'll see, these are the property, these are the few things which we need to pass: the name for this project, then the location, then the solution name. The solution name could be the different, but so you can edit anything. So I'm giving report 2 and the solution name I'm changing like this. So now if you observe carefully, you will see here the name for the reporting project and the name for the solution is not same. It can be same or it cannot be. So it's your choice. If you want to place both the names same, then you can choose it, or if you want to change the name for the solution, you can change it. Okay, then click on OK. The moment you will click on OK, a new project will get initiated and you will see the pop-up like Microsoft Visual Studio creating a project report 2. So it will load all the initial libraries which are required to create the reporting project. So you will see the first window here, welcome to the reporting wizard. The just try to read it out. The report wizard helps to create a report. As I said, it will help you to generate the report. With the wizard you can select a data source from which the retrieve data. It means data source is a something which is a container which will point to the respective connection. So data source from which the retrieve data, design a query to execute against the data source. Once you have the connection, then you can pass the query, right? So that's why it's saying design a query to execute against the data source. Then choose the type of the report you want to create. So do you want to create the matrix report, matrix format, or you want to create a tabular form? We'll talk about that one by one, don't worry about that. Or if you click on the next, we'll see all those things, but just try to read it out. Specify the basic layout of the report. It will give you some simple basic. It won't give you the more customized, like the adding the image for the company or the logo or any kind of slogan. You can't, but customized logo, it won't give, it will give you simple layout. Specify the formatting for the, obviously yes. Then we'll click on the next. So now just try to read it out. Report wizard. So what is this? Select the data source and just try to read the definition for the data source. Select a data source from which to obtain the data for the report or create a new data source. What does it mean? This pop-up will help you. This pop-up will give us an idea that how do we need to set up the connection to the database. Okay, now here the first step is we need to create a data source. Create a data source, assign a specific name. I'm giving it as data source 1. Then second is the type. So which kind of data source do you want to use? Are you using the Oracle? Are you using the Teradata, or are you using XML or other databases, right? Azure. So these are the type of data, but now right now my database is SQL Server, so I'm trying to connect, so I need to use Microsoft SQL Server. If it is Oracle, then you need to use Oracle, but right now I'm trying to connect to the SQL Server, so I'm specifying the type as a Microsoft SQL Server. Then go to the edit. Now here we need to select the DB name, so click on the down box. So this is the drop down and it will pull all the server name which are installed on your machine. And if you are trying to connect to the remote server or remote DB server, then you need to pass here the IP or the respective server name if it is in the connection. Then I'm passing is Shrikant is my server name. Great. The authentication, it depends on you, how do you want to connect to your server. So I am using the Windows authentication on my machine because the server itself is present on my machine, so I am passing it Windows authentication. Next thing is connect to database. Now I have chosen the server, I have chosen the server type, and I have selected which kind of authentication I need to pass to the server. So the authentication part has been done. Now if these two things are okay, then the third part is, if you click on this drop down, you will see the list of all the databases which are present on that server. These are all the databases which I created for my testing purpose, and you can see these databases would be present in the server. So Shrikant is a server, DB server, where these all the databases are present. You can select any database. I am selecting the eTravel. This is just a test database. Then if everything is okay, then you need to click on a test connection. If everything is okay, you will see the result that test connection succeed. Or sometime if it is wrong, or sometime if you pass the wrong name, or if something is wrong, then you won't see the test connection result as a test result succeed. Okay, fine. Then we'll click on OK. Now you will see you are trying to create the data source 1. Then everything is fine. Now we are clicking on a next. Now we connected to the server. Now reporting server knows that which server do you want to connect, and in the server which database do you want to point. We did it. Then I am trying to write some test query. Here one, I am generating the table on the fly. Then emp1, this is name. Then I am specifying it as union select to, then id, then comma, second employee emp2. As I don't want to make it more complicated, and I don't want to use my predefined table, so I'm trying to generate, or I'm trying to give an on the fly demo. So I'm creating a table on the fly through the query, and this will return me the 2 records. The first one would be the id with 1, second one would be the id with equal to 2. Great. Next, now this is query builder section. Also use a query builder. You can also use this query builder option. This is quite easy, but we'll talk all this thing in detail, but just want to give some recap. Then you need to click on a query builder. So query builder is a UI where you will see all the views, and there we can generate the query easily. Now you can see here, you can see the preview also on the fly, right? On the fly preview here. Then we can do group by, and all the SQL operations we can do it here directly. Let's say okay, just you can go to the SQL, hide SQL pane, hide or result, some grids, edit as it is. So these are basically the designer where we can type the query and we can see the output on the fly. For example, if I want to add one more from here, so how I can do that? I will add one more, then emp3, right? Syntax error. Okay, now you need to come here, you need to execute. Now you will see here 3 rows are there. Okay, so you can see the output on the fly. If there is any kind of query error or anything wrong, you would be prompted and you can fix it there itself. Okay, this is just for designing the query. Now we created the data sources. We created data source basically. Then we have the query. We generated the query. Now it will ask us select the report type. So there are 2 options for the report type. First option is a tabular. Second is a matrix. So matrix is like is like a cell basis, and tabular is something of plain data. So it's depend on you how do you want to see the data. I am trying to see just as tabular data, so I'm selecting the tabular and moving to the next. Now in this pane you need to have a lot of options like groups. How do you want to group the columns? Then which column do you want to see in a details, and then which column do you want to see in a page section? So for example, I am passing this ID into the ID here, right? So data would look like this. For example, I want to do group by ID. Then how do I do that? Just select it and pass it into the group. So data would be group by ID, but I don't want that data to be grouped. I simply want the data to need to be in a raw format, so I'm sending it into the detail section. So my first column is ID, then passing this one name. Great. So I designed how do I want to see the columns into the report. As this is generating from the wizard, so we don't have more flexibility or more options to move the column here or there, or giving a proper coloring and everything, but we can do it. But it's just an idea that how simple report we can, because as it is a first report, we should have a confidence that we can design and we can understand it, right? Once we designed and understood it carefully, we can design any kind of report. Fine, click on a next. Now it will ask you the name for the report, so I'm giving it as the RDL one, and it will show you all the steps and other stuffs. Okay, next we'll click on a finish. So moment we'll click on a finish, it will try to take all the information, it will try to collect all the information, and will try to generate the respective entities. Like it will generate the data source 1, then it will generate the RDL. Now you can see we have chosen the reporting wizard, and if we come here, we'll see the one RDL. This is the RDL one, which we haven't added yet. It is added automatically. So for testing purpose, double click on it. Now you will see the RDL here. Great. Now we'll do some basic formatting here. Before that, I think I can give you some overview. Okay, so basically this is a RDL section. So this is called as a report. Here you will have the property section. The properties is something which is giving some coloring or other stuff, or if you want to give some customization, then we need to go to the property section like height, width and all other stuff. This is the text box. So this cell is called text box, and if you select this one, you will see this is the table 1. So this is the table section. In the table we have a cell. Fine. Then this is text box again. So now you can see these are all the controls: text box, table. These are all the controls which are present on the RDL. Fine. So we have a RDL. We come to the body. Right. Now these are a control. So for controls, right, now let's go to the left section. In the left section you will see the toolbox. The toolbox is something where we have the controls, and we can use these controls to design the report, right? This is text box, matrix and all other things. We'll talk about that one by one. Don't worry, just to know, this is the toolbox where we have to copy and paste all these controls. Great. Next thing is report data. Go to the view and see the report data. The moment you will click on report data, you will see that there is a section called as a built-in fields. So if you expand it, you will see these are the inbuilt field. So for example, if you want to know the execution time for that, then language, then overall page number, these are the predefined properties, report level properties you can see. So we have built-in fields, then we have parameters. Parameter is something we need to create it, or when we take it from the store procedure, it will automatically add it. Don't worry about that, I will show you everything. Then the next thing which we need to discuss is data sources. So data source, as I said, is a kind of a entity which hold the connection information. So you can see here the Shrikant. is my server name, and the eTravel, that's the initial catalog, is my DB name. So basically it just hold the connection information. Great. Now there is a next thing which is called a data set. So data set is a something which which hold the data, but which point to what, which point to data source. So for creating a data set we should always have the data source. Great. Now here you can see this is an individual data source. Now if you come here and see the data source, here this data source is one is present, but if I close this RDL, I can't see this data source here. This is a shared data source now, but that's a report level data source. That's fine. Okay, we'll talk about that, but just try to focus that we have RDL. This RDL is RDL1, and we have the section called as the properties, which is used to change the color. Let's say now I'll give you demo. Now just select this to cell, come here and select for the color here. Now you can see the border color is this one. Okay, we can scroll down. So color is this one. I'm making it as red. So color would be changed, and for this I'm making the alignment as a center. Okay, great. Now it doesn't have any border, so I'm assigning some border. This is font size. Okay, you can select it from here. Border style 1 point, fine. Border style here you can say solid. Okay, great. Here you need to come here, none. So you need to select which border do you want to see on the left side. Okay, simply write like this. Sorry. Okay. Now go to the preview and see the preview. In the preview section we'll see the actual report, actual output, how would it look like when we deploy it on the server or when we access it in application. Okay. This is the first time I am opening this bit, so first time you might see this kind of messages. Great. ID name, okay, fine. Now I need this ID to be central location, so this is the center position. Okay, fine. Then I want to make it bold, then you can make it bold. It is already bold, fine. Then I want to make it italic, then underline, fine. Okay, now this is our RDL, and this RDL is ready now for the deployment. So next thing what we need to do, that we need to go to the reporting server, then we need to take the report server URL. So the report server URL is this one. Just take the report server URL, Srikanth 80 report server URL. Let it open. So we need to wait for some time to open it. Now search for the report server, as we already report server it. So this is a link. So I need this one. I can't copy it from there, so I need to copy like this. Great. Now the next thing is, we have a report, we design the report. Now we have a report, we have a server, but we don't have a proper connection between them. How the system would know that this reporting project need to be deployed on that specific server? So for that we need to go to the setting, we need to choose the project, then we need to go to the setting. The moment you will click on a setting, one pop-up will open, and in this pop-up you will see the few things like build, everything whatever we do change that get builded. Okay, the start item, then the target server URL, basically. Yes, so we need to change the target server URL. The target server URL for this project or from my reporting project, this it is not copied, right? Then come back here, then select this entire link, again copy and come back to this. You will just need to replace or paste the URL. So target server, this is my server URL. That's why we first configured the reporting server and then we move to design the report, right? So we just simply need to do this change. Okay, click on apply. Note that we haven't deployed anything so far. We only access and we only connected the reporting server with the reporting project. Okay, now this is my server which will be loaded in a few seconds or few minutes, but you know there is a bug or there is a issue which called as administrative right. So sometime we need to assign them the administrative right. So how do you do that? Just go to the Internet Explorer, then go to the Internet Explorer and right click on that, and you need to open this browser with as a run as an administrator. These are a permission related stuff, but don't worry, it doesn't have to deal with the actual coding. If you are not able to access in Chrome, or if you are able to access in Internet Explorer, then that's fine. Just go to the Internet Explorer and work it on there. As a developer, we don't have to spend more time there. Our main focus would be on bits. Okay, now this is my reporting server URL. Now it will get open. Why I am showing you? My intention to show you is that now everything is blank. This reporting server doesn't have the data set. This doesn't have the ideal. I want to just show you that how does it look like when we start deployment or when we start working on the reporting server. This is just server, so you can open another tab with a reporting manager. Okay, now you can see this is connected to the server. So server is live with the version 11.022. this is version. Now we are trying to connect to the reporting server manager sites. Okay, now if we go back to the another browser, you will see some errors. Okay, it got open, that's fine. Now it got the permissions. Now here open the reports manager. So how do we get the report manager URL? Just go to the configuration, then report manager URL. So in the report manager URL you will see this is the report with the reporting manager URL. So simply report, copy this and reports. This is my report manager URL, reports. Now you can see everything is blank. Okay, the permission issue has been automatically being resolved when you do restart or when you open with the another browser with the administrative rights. Okay, now you will see here everything is blank, nothing is there. Again go back to the bits. Now we are back to our reporting project. Okay, what we have changed, we went to the setting and we change only the target server URL. These are two important properties. Override data sources. So every time, this is very important, override data sources. So every time when you do deployment over the server, do you want to replace or do you want to override the data source? If yes, then you need to make it true. But this is not advisable, because when you do working on the system, when on live system, because once if you are working on shared data sources, so that shared data sources might be used by multiple report. When you do deployment multiple time, that data source get remodified, so it might get problem for other report. So you need to make it false. But as this is our first, but you can anyway you can make it true also. So make it true. Override data set true. No, we'll make it false, because we don't want to override every time, because connection won't get changed, my server name won't get changed any multiple time, my configuration would be the same. Great. Then you need to apply. Okay, now we have changed the version for that. Now we have our RDL, we have a data source. Now we are going to deploy it on the server. So just go to the project, right click on it, and then go to the deploy and just deploy it. Remember, this is the first time we are going to deploy in this project or on the server, so we need to deploy, we need to go to the project and then need to right click and then need to deploy, right? So next time onward we are not going to do same thing, because if we will do that, all the RDL which are present in the project or all the data sources which are present in the project which will get deployed, right? So we don't want to do that, because next time onward we'll add some RDLs, we'll design some RDL and then we'll modify some RDL and we'll deploy it, right? Now if everything is okay, you will see the message like this: deploy started, then deploying to the, this is the server, then deploying report, which report it is deploying, then deploy complete, any error if it is, then it will show the errors like we were seeing it before. Now everything is correct, then build succeed and deploy it, report on the server. Now what we are going to do, we are going back to the reporting server manager. This is reporting server manager URL, and now you can see nothing is there. Now we are going to refresh the page and we are going to see is anything there or not. Now you can see this new folder has been created, because you might create a multiple project and those multiple project need to be deployed over the server, right? For segregating or for identifying those projects, we need to have a folder, and for this we have the project named it as a report project. This is our folder. Okay, just want to give some overview. Go to the configuration. Here you can see target report folder. Here we can modify, and whatever the name will, if we'll change the name, the new folder will get deployed on the server. But right now it's a report project, so the report project has been deployed on the server. Now go into the folder, you can see only the one report has been deployed on the server. Okay, this is the report and we have deployed on the server. And next time onward, in the next video I am going to show you how to access this RDL, right, into the C# application. We'll see everything. Okay, don't worry about that, but my intention was to show you how to install the reporting server, then how to configure the reporting server. Once it is configured, then how to design a report, and then how to connect to the SQL server, right? Then how to deploy the designed report over the respective server, and how to see it through the report manager. Hope you guys enjoyed and like our video regarding the complete overflow of the SSRS project, how to create, deploy and accessing the report. And if you like this video, please don't forget to share, subscribe with your friend community, and thanks for watching and have a great day.